JBN, we keep you informed. 3 charged with murder of 18-year-old Kingston man. The police have arrested and charged 3 men in relation to the murder of an 18-year-old man in Kingston earlier this month. The accused, who are all of Kingston's 16 addresses, have been named as 42-year-old labourer Nicholas Meikle, otherwise called Dickie, 40-year-old barber Dwayne Willis, otherwise called Pops, and 24-year-old Jelani Green, who is a stevedore. The police said the arrests were made on Sunday, September 15 and Saturday, September 21. Meikle, Willis and Green have been implicated in the murder of 18-year-old Tyreek Sawyers of Southern Cross Drive, Kingston 17. According to the lawmen, Sawyers was standing at his gate about 12:15 p.m. on Sunday, September 8, when it is alleged that he was pounced upon by 3 men who reportedly shot him multiple times. The police said after an investigation and an identification parade, all 3 men were arrested and charged after being positively identified. They are also charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Car wash operator and a bus driver shot in Montego Bay. The Anchovy police have commenced an investigation into the shooting and wounding of a 30-year-old car wash operator and a 35-year-old bus driver in Anchovy St. James on Sunday night, September 22. Both victims have been admitted to the Cornwall Regional Hospital in serious but stable condition. Reports by the Anchovy police are that shortly after 8:30 p.m., both men were at the Big Tree Car Wash in Anchovy, which is operated by the 30-year-old victim. Minutes later, a motor car drove up and one man alighted with a handgun. The gunman opened fire, hitting both men, and then made good his escape in the waiting motor car. The police were summoned and both victims, who were seen suffering from gunshot wounds, were rushed to the hospital. Cops shot and injured in St. James. A police constable was driving along a main road in St. James early on Sunday morning, was attacked and shot by armed men after the officer was involved in a motor vehicle collision. The wounded cop has been identified as Constable Cashin Peterkin of the Area 1 Police Division in St. James. Following the incident, the police named a person of interest in relation to the shooting of the constable, who was asked to turn himself in to the Montego Bay Police by midday on Monday. However, police sources said with the deadline now passed, the person of interest, 24-year-old Travis Malcolm, otherwise called Tipper of Portobello, has not reported to the law as was requested. Reports are that about 2:30 a.m., Peterkin was driving along the Portobello Main Road when he was involved in a vehicular crash. Indications are that the cop exited his vehicle and was about to inspect the extent of the damage from the collision when he was shot by occupants of another vehicle. It is not clear if the attackers were persons from any vehicle that was involved in the collision. Sources said the injured lawman managed to pull his firearm and return the fire. His attackers managed to escape from the scene. The cop was later taken to the hospital where he has been admitted. The extent of his injuries is still not known at this time. Sources, however, claim that his condition is considered serious. Reid resigns as JLP caretaker for Northwest St. Anne. The claim made on Monday by the sacked former Minister of Education Reid that he is still the Jamaica Labour Party's JLP caretaker candidate for the Northwest St. Anne constituency, despite being under a criminal investigation as seemingly being shot down by the party. The JLP, in a statement issued later in the day, said Reid resigned as the chairman and caretaker for the constituency on September 15. Reid, who was fired by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on March 20, as a corruption scandal threatened to erupt at the Ministry of Education and at least one of its affiliated agencies, the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, is presently a subject of the criminal investigation. In a radio interview on Monday, the lay preacher and former senator claimed that he is still representing the governing party in the constituency. Yes, Reid responded when asked if he is still the JLP caretaker for the constituency. That is also a matter that we are looking to resolve, he added. When pressed about whether he is really still representing the party in the constituency, Reid said, yes, on paper, officially so, and I am in discussion with the leadership of the Labour Party. When pressed even further, Reid reminded the host that they had a discussion in which Reid, had advised that he had not officially tendered his resignation to the JLP as a constituency representative. He said he has had discussions with the party leadership in recent times, and we have an agreement as to the way forward, and I believe that the leadership will communicate that shortly. But hours after Reid made the claim, JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang issued a statement contradicting Reid's position. According to the statement, the party is in possession of Reid's letter of resignation dated September 15, 2019. The statement said the former minister tendered the resignation via email and followed up with a hard copy. As such, Chang said Reid is not representing the JLP in any capacity in Northwest St. Anne. But despite Chang now stating that Reid had formally resigned, there are still questions about why it took all of 6 months for him to do so, especially since the party's top brass, including Chang, had for months been telegraphing that Reid had either resigned or was about to resign and was not doing any work in the constituency on behalf of the JLP. No child-friendly holding areas at police stations island-wide. Deputy Commissioner of Police Clifford Blake has revealed that there are no child-friendly holding areas in any police station across the island. He made the revelation while speaking at an Office of the Children's Advocate training seminar for cops and justices of the peace at the Grand Palladium Jamaica Resort in Anova on Saturday. Blake said that despite efforts being made to upgrade a number of police facilities, none of the 19 divisional commands of the Jamaica Constabulary Force have facilities fit to hold minors suspected to have run afoul of the law. In May 2014, then Youth Minister Lisa Hanna announced that Jamaica's first child-friendly police station in Bridgeport, Portmore had been completed. Bridgeport was among 4 stations selected as part of a pilot project to retrofit police stations to make them more accommodating for children who come in conflict with the law. The 3 other stations were Barrytown in St. James, Monique in St. Anne, and Nain in St. Elizabeth. Anna said then that the project was to have 1 child-friendly police station in each parish, which would cost $75 million. However, Blake said that despite this, the police are still operating without truly child-friendly holding areas. They were designed like regular cells with concrete beds, poor ventilation, so they were never prepared for children, and quite a bit of money was spent on special designs, he said on the weekend. As a matter of fact, when the proposal was rolled out, I heard of equipment like air-conditioned units and special beds. I don't know where the contractor went wrong, but the last thing I did on Friday before I entered this room was to call the divisional commanders and ask what's the update on the situation with these child-friendly rooms. I was told that all 3, Nain, Barrytown, and Monique, are still non-functional or dysfunctional because they were never designed for children, he said. We must be serious, because each child that we can prevent from becoming involved in crime means it's less work for us. As a matter of fact, I don't mind if we can prevent every child from coming here, and in 15 or 20 years we will not have anything to do, but that's not the reality, Blake said. So we must, as a matter of urgency as a country, not as a police force or the Office of the Children's Advocate, really take our child intervention policy and how we treat our children seriously, he said. PNP getting ready for election, says Robinson. People's National Party PNP General Secretary Julian Robinson has said that the party has standard bearers in places in most constituencies as it prepares to try to wrestle power from the ruling Jamaica Labour Party in the next general election. With the next national polls constitutionally due by 2021, the country is headed into the election cycle. Robinson was given an overview of a discussion held at the private session of the PNP conference at Jamaica College on Saturday, at which Comrades were assured that the party was in good hands. The PNP General Secretary said that in Region 1, which covers St. Anne and Trelawney, all 6 candidates are in place. In Region 2, which covers St. Mary Portland and St. Thomas, all 7 candidates are in place. For Region 3, which covers Kingston and St. Andrew, 9 out of 15 candidates are in place. 13 of 17 candidates are in place in Region 4 of the party, which covers St. Catherine and Clarendon. All 8 standard bearers are in place in Region 5, which covers St. Elizabeth and Manchester. In Region 6, which covers St. James, Anova and Westmoreland, 9 out of 10 candidates are in place. So your party is getting ready for that time, whenever that is, to lead in government, Robinson told PNP supporters at the National Arena in Kingston on Sunday. I assure you, comrades, your party is in good hands. We are working, he added. Robinson disclosed that some discussions had not been held on Saturday because of time constraints, but he said a motion put forward by President Dr. Peter Phillips for all newly elected members of the executive to be given full voting rights to elect the party's president and vice presidents will be considered. Phillips' demand comes as there was controversy surrounding the decision of the party to allow newly elected members of the executive to vote in the presidential election on September 7, just days after they were elected. Some PNP supporters insisted that it was against the tradition of the party to allow the new executive members to vote. Phillips defeated Peter Bunting in the contest by 76 votes. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.